In this video, we will demonstrate how we process emotion recognition from real-time video or images using convolutional neural network. In general, emotion recognition on human faces consists of 3 steps: face detection, face modeling, and classification. Our final goal is to detect the emotion on random face and classify them into 7 most basic human expressions, which is anger, disgust, fear, happy, neutral, sad, and surprise. We are group 13. In this 15 minutes, we will talk about the introduction, followed by the theoretical background, data description, data preprocessing, and our model, experiments and results, and then we will have a conclusion and our future work. Finally, we will have a demonstration on real-time face emotion classification in webcam. Let's start with why emotion detection. Facial emotion can help us understand the intentions of others in human communication. In general, people deduce the emotional states of other people by facial expression and vocal tone. However, according to the survey conducted by Merabian, facial expressions are the main information source which can explain the emotion meaning in communication. Therefore, we are interested in the study on detection of facial emotion.
Let us dig into a little deeper into convolutional neural networks. Actually, there are 3 classes of neural networks. 1 multi-layer perceptron, 1 convolutional neural networks, 1 is recurrent neural networks. Our project is using CNN because CNN is proven is very effective in the areas such as image recognition and classifications. Image is just a matrix of pixel values. If it is a colored image, probably it has 3 channels, red, blue, green. If it is a grayscale image, it will contain only 1 channel. The word convolution means apply the filters to the image. In the diagram, the orange 3 times 3 are the filters applied on the green image 5 times 5 pixels. The feature extracted is called convolute feature or feature map. One filter extracts 1 features. In face recognition, some filters are used to recognize eyes, some are for nose, some are for mouth. The more filters we have, we can extract more features from the image. It's better for our model to learn the image.
Then let's look at the data. For the dataset, we used facial expression recognition dataset from Cargo Challenge in 2013. The data consists of 48 times 48 pixel grayscale images of faces, and it contains around 36,000 records in CSV format. The CSV file contains 2 columns, emotions and pixels. The emotion column contains a numeric code ranging from 0 to 6. We can find it on the right-hand side table. For the pixel column, it contains a string surrounded in codes for each image. The contents of this string are space-separated pixel values in row major order. Here is a sample record.
Kaggle FER dataset is a very good dataset. However, it does have one limitation. That is, the dataset itself is imbalanced. You can see from the numbers and the charts on the right-hand side, we found that the emotion disgust only have 547 images, while comparing other emotions, all of them contains thousands of images. In order to tackle this issue, we used two techniques. The first one is we found another dataset. It is called AlexNet. AlexNet contains more than 1 million facial images, either collected from the internet or manually annotated. Another technique is data augmentation. I will show how it is done in later slides. As AlexNet images come into different formats than the Kaggle FER dataset, therefore we need to do a lot of data preprocessing in order to align the data format as the Kaggle one. The first one, AlexNet images are colored images. We need to convert them into grayscale. And then second step, AlexNet images are in different dimensions. We need to convert the image into 48 times 48 size. Also, AlexNet use different labeling for the expression. For example, disgust, AlexNet labeled it as 5. However, Kaggle FER dataset labeled it as 1. In the end, we need to serialize this 2D pixel array into one pixel array. This slide shows the visualization of our data processing. About the data augmentation, there are many techniques we can use, like flip, rotation, scale, crop, translation, etc. We only use flip in our project because we found that the effect is already satisfactory. And then we recommend horizontal flip only, because when we do vertical flip on a human face, for example, if the eyes is at the bottom of the face, it will always confuse the CNN model. The data augmentation result is encouraging. We compare the model trained without data augmentation and the model with data augmentation. For example, for the photo showed on the right-hand side, the model without data augmentation cannot clearly classify its emotion. However, with the data augmentation, it is clearly able to identify this expression as disgust. We tried a couple more examples, and then we found the same result. In our project, we tried two models, AlexNet and mini-Xception. The main idea behind mini-Xception model is we removed all the fully connected layers, and then we also introduced combined depth-wise separable convolutions and residual modules. The reasons behind almost most of the parameters are in its fully connected layers. If we remove them, we reduce our number of models greatly. Also, with residual module, the gradient is easier to propagate into earlier layers. This is the model architecture for mini-Xception. It contains 4 residual depth-wise separable convolution layers, and each convolution layer is followed by the batch normalization operation and ReLU activation function. The last layer is the global average pooling, and softmax activation functions.
Apart from the mini-Xception model, another model we used is AlexNet. It originally has 60 million parameters, but we reduced it to about 5 million parameters. We modified the convolutional layer kernel size, but we use the ReLU activation function because it has better gradient propagation. And we also reduced the size of the fully connected layer in our model. Here shows the model architecture of our simplified AlexNet. We use total 8 layers, 5 convolutional layers and 3 fully connected layers. After that, we will move to the next section, model result and evaluation. We use 5-fold cross-validation to evaluate our models. Each flow of the data are running in a model with 8 approaches. We use the cross-validation to recognize the problem of overfitting in our models. Finally, the mini-Xception model, the FH accuracy is around 59%, and for AlexNet, the FH percentage accuracy is around 62%. Here shows the parameters evaluation for mini-Xception model. It clearly shows that the happy and surprise got the highest F scores. This slide shows the evaluation result for the AlexNet parameters. It's trivial to show that happy and neutral got the highest F score. And comparing with the mini-Xception model, disgust is performed worse than the mini-Xception model, but angry is performed better than the mini-Xception model.
In the second part of our evaluation, we have used a new set of testing data. The new set of testing data have 565 filters. The model trained the whole set of original training data, and we expect to use this method, the evaluation method, to find whether the model catch up the generic logic. And the results are pretty good for both of the model, with mini-Xception to have FH accuracy about 68%. And for the AlexNet, the accuracy is even better, with FH accuracy to be 69%. Here we are the other evaluation parameters for new testing data for mini-Xception's model. D is the normalized confusion matrix for mini-Xception model. And as we can see, it has a very good predictive power for the labeling for the happy and neutral, and it is also doing good in sad and also surprised and angry, and it is doing pretty bad for disgust and fear. This is the result for other evaluation parameters for new testing data for AlexNet. And there is one thing for the disgust, the AlexNet cannot recognize any one of them from the testing data and predict it and label it as disgust. And then this is the normalized confusion matrix for AlexNet, and both of the model behave very similar, but there is one thing that fails in AlexNet, which is the surprise, and most of the surprise are labeled as neutral. Here we are the findings for the evaluation of both models. And first, the emotion with strong facial expression or distinctive facial feature such as happy, surprise, and neutrals are generally getting good results with quite high precision and recall. For emotion with lesser facial expression, including like disgust, fear, and sad, the result is much worse comparing to those other features.
There is another finding about incorrect image label. As we can see on the left-hand side, which is a photo in our training set labeled as discussed. But as we can see, actually we may probably think it is something like a woman under a very shiny sun, but other than is disgust emotion.
Now, let's look at the conclusion and future work section. To conclude, we presented two different CNN models on emotion detection, which is mini-Xception and AlexNet. And we found that the cross-validation accuracy, mini-Xception having 59% and AlexNet having 62%. On the other hand, we can test our model with some new data, and the result is that mini-Xception having 68% and for AlexNet it have around 69%. Finally, we found that the emotion with strong facial expression are generally getting better results. To improve our project, in the future, we can try more types of CNN models like VGGNet, Inception, and ResNet. On the other hand, we can tune more parameters and layers to construct an optimal model.
In the end, we also try to apply our face emotion classification model in real-time streaming video. First, we adopt hard cascade classifier in OpenCV for face detection. In hard cascade classifier, there are many classifiers. It helps to identify ears, nose, eyes correspondingly. Second, the captured face image is then passed to our model, and our model will do the prediction on the emotion. Now, I want to present you the demo of our project. Please enjoy.